Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arista Wirawan. Today, I want to share with you about spanning tree protocol, one of the most important protocol for the LAN switch environment. So, what is the spanning tree protocol? First, there's two things that spanning tree doing. Uh, the main function of the spanning tree protocol is to prevent the loop in the switches environment and at the same time to provide the redundancy. So in this diagram we can see we have a few of switches and they have many connectivity in between of the switch, and it's also this switch connected to many of the client and the server PC. So in this case we can see there's many possibility that the traffic can go, let's say, from the PC on the left side to the server on the right side. So to prevent the looping, so we need the protocol which is spanning tree protocol to optimize the traffic and also at the same time provide the redundancy. So in case the primary path is down, then the traffic can be rerouted to the secondary path. So how this STP process working? So here the first one is the switch in the switches in the domain. They need to select the root switch. So let's say we have in this topology we have like 3 switch. So the first thing that the switch must be agree, there's only one root bridge in the in this 3 switch 1, switch 2, and switch 3. So how they elect the root switch? They choose the root switch by choosing the lowest bridge ID. The bridge ID content of priority and the MAC address. Priority is something that we can configure, and the MAC address. So in this case we can assume that we have the default priority. Everyone have the same priority. So the switch with the lowest MAC address will be chosen as the root bridge. So in this case, the switch 1 having the lowest MAC address, then it will become the root bridge. Okay, switch 1 is become the root bridge. So the next step is to determine each switch root port. So every switch except the root bridge, except the switch 1, need to select a root port. So how the root port selected is by calculating the cost to the root bridge. So if we can see in this topology, for example, switch 2 have two link. One is the direct link from switch 2 to switch 1, and the switch 2 also have the link to switch 3 and to switch 1. So switch 2 need to calculate the cost to the switch 1. Okay, assuming that all these paths have the same cost, so we can see that the cost from switch 2 direct to switch 1 should be lesser compared by the cost from switch 2 go to switch 3 and back to the switch 1. By the way, for the info, this is the cost of the the port by default. So let's say if this, we assume this is like 10 meg link, so it will be 100. So this link will be 100. So the cost from switch 2 to switch 1 directly, if this is Ethernet, will be 100, and from switch 2 to switch 3 and switch 1, it will be 100 plus 100 become 200. So in this case, this port switch 2 that go to the switch 1 will become a root port. Okay, the same thing, switch 3 also need to choose. Switch 3 have 2 ports, so switch 3 will choose this port as the root port. Okay, that's the second one. So the third one is to determine the destination port. So how do we determine the destination port is for the each segment. So if we can see here, this is one segment. So this segment between switch 1 is and switch 2 is one segment. Between switch 2 and switch 3 there's one segment. Okay. So remember the rule. The roots, all the ports belong to the roots bridge will be forwarding. So both port of the switch 1 is the destination port. Okay. So this port and this one is DP. Okay. And then how about the port between switch 2 and switch 3? For the port between switch 1 and switch 2 is easy. One is already root port, so the other is DP. Root port DP. But how about the port between switch 2 and switch 3? Okay. So how they choose the DP, each segment also the same. So they will choose the port with the lowest cost into the segment. So if we see the cost of this both port is the same, then there must be a tie break. So the tie breakers, the first one is the lowest for the bridge ID. So if we see here, switch 2 have the lower bridge ID compared with the switch 3. So switch 2 will win. So the switch 2 port become the DP and the other one become block port. Okay. And then the last one is determine which is the block port. Okay, this is the cost of the port. So remember the spanning tree rule number 1. All ports on the root switch must be in the forwarding mode. So remember, all ports in the root bridge must be in the forwarding mode. So they are DP. They always become a DP. Okay, and then yeah, correct. Number 2, the root port must set to the forwarding mode. Okay, and then rule number 3, in the single LAN segment, the port of the DP port that connect to the LAN segment must place into the forwarding mode. So as we can see just now, this one, the DP, all the DP must be put in the forwarding mode. And then all other ports the rest, meaning must be placed in the blocking mode. So this one, the rest left in the blocking mode. Okay. So just now we are talking about the X02.1D, the classic spanning tree protocol. So beside the original classic spanning tree protocol, we also have some other STP types. The first one we call it per VLAN spanning tree, meaning that each VLAN have its own spanning tree. So this is the purpose is to have a better load balancing over the trunk. So in this case, let's say for this case, let's say the connection from switch 1 to switch 2 that having two Ethernet connection. So with the per VLAN spanning tree, we can define that let's say we have VLAN 2, 3, 4, 5. We can define VLAN 2 and 4 to choose this one, the upper one, and then VLAN 3 and 5 to choose the lower link. And then in case one of the link down, and then the traffic still can go to the other link. Okay. Another one is rapid spanning tree protocol. This rapid spanning tree protocol have the faster convergence compared by the classic spanning tree STP, whereby the STP have four states, start from disable, blocking, listening, learning, and forwarding. So there's four states: blocking, listening, learning, and forwarding. So in the rapid spanning tree, they bypass. There's no more listening state. There's no more listening state. So the convergence of the STP, that 30 second to 50 second with the RSTP will be reduced up to maybe like 5 seconds only. The last one is the multiple spanning tree, MST. This one is also using the RSTP and is more flexible compared by the per VLAN spanning tree, where we can define the multiple instance and then we tie this VLAN with this instance. That's all my explanation. Thank you for listening.